Hola, soy Yadi. Bienvenidos a mi canal. This video is a continuation of my last vlog, which shows you guys the first half of my trip to Mexico. So if you haven't watched that, then go watch that first and then come back to see this video, which will show you guys some medical tests that I had done, as well as the results of those tests, and I'll also be showing you guys some more of the lovely sights of Queretaro, Mexico. So if you want to see all that, stick around. So as you guys just saw in the last clip, I went and had an echo done because I saw a cardiologist last week, and I explained to him everything that has been going on with me, heart wise, with the heart palpitations that I get, and the shortness of breath and occasional chest pain when I'm when I go from sitting to standing, or when I'm standing for too long, or walking for a while. Sometimes not even a while, sometimes it's a couple of minutes, but yeah. And I told him that it gets really worse when it's hot outside, and I explained the whole temperature thing, how I will get hot, really hot, or sometimes I'll get cold, but I mean in the summer most of the time it's just me getting super hot. And obviously I told him about all my other health conditions, and on that same day that I saw him last week, he did an EKG, and he also took my blood pressure first when I was laying down, and then standing up. And right as I went from laying down standing up, I felt lightheaded while he was taking my blood pressure, and he was he even asked me, he was did you just feel lightheaded right now? I'm yeah. And he told me that because my blood pressure apparently it's already low, but then it drops lower when I stand up. So yeah, so then I told him about how the rheumatologist had told me, back home, had mentioned POTS once to me, and he was saying, well, over here they call it just dysautonomia, because I know POTS technically falls under dysautonomia is more a broad term for different types of autonomic dysfunction type things or whatever, but over here it's kind of they kind of use that word as to describe instead of saying POTS or different the different types of dysautonomia, they just call it dysautonomia. So I mentioned that to him, but he was yeah, that's actually what I was thinking that might be happening to you. So he ordered me to have some tests done, because he also wanted to rule out, he said he wanted to rule out any structural things, anything actually happening with the heart. So I think he mentioned arrhythmias and stuff, because he said that my EKG, I think my heart was really fast, was beating really fast, because I just I'd been outside, it was really hot out, so yeah, my heart was probably really it could feel it was racing really fast. So, and then apart from the echo, yesterday they placed 2 monitors on me, which you can see the strap. So they did a blood pressure monitor, which is this one right here, and here's the cuff on my arm, and it measures my blood pressure every 30 minutes. Well, every hour at night, but during the day it's every 30 minutes. I have to wear it for 24 hours. And then he also had me do a Holter monitor, which they you had it done before, they place like all these, it's kind of like an EKG, I think, but it's done over 24 hours. So they place all like the stickers and stuff. It's measuring all day. So I have to wear both of these. Like, I have to wear both of these for 24 hours. And it's, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most comfortable thing. I remember yesterday when the nurse was placing it, she did ask me, "You're sure you're gonna do both at the same time? Because it's gonna be pretty uncomfortable." But we've kind of been having a lot of trouble like getting around over here, just because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but like the Ubers over here, like they rarely have AC, and because of, you know, like I said, the symptoms that I get, they get worse with the heat. So like sitting in a car with no AC, and it's like high 80s outside, it gets really hot, and like I start getting like symptoms, and I start feeling like really bad. So yeah, so I wanted to like save the trip, because I'm gonna have to, like, you know, they placed them yesterday, I'm gonna have to go back today at 6 in the evening to return them, and so they can get like the readings and stuff. And so I wanted to save the trip, because obviously if I had done them on separate days, that would have been like 4 different trips I would have had to take to the hospital. And I was like, you know what, I'll just deal with the discomfort for a day. And yeah, nighttime was when it was pretty rough. Yeah, it was not the best sleep, but like I said, I'd rather just, you know, have gotten both of them done, and you know, hopefully get the results and see what the doctor says, and try to get some, because he was like, he said he wanted to wait on like prescribing any medication until he had seen like the test results and made sure, you know, like I said, nothing else was going on. And then I don't know, I guess once he gives me the results, like based on what he sees, he might prescribe something. He did tell me to like increase my salt intake a lot, because I told him that I try to drink as much electrolytes as I can, because I found that it helps. He's like, yeah, you should try to increase your salt intake by a lot. So I've been trying to do that. I add salt to the water that I put in through my tube, and obviously trying to drink as much Gatorade as I can, as well as like I've been trying to eat a little bit more here, because I don't know, like here they have like medications for like gastroparesis, so once I'm able to take those medications, I'm usually able to eat like a little bit more. So I've been eating some stuff over here, just small amounts, but it's still nice, because back at home I wasn't really able to eat much lately. I also saw the GI doctor, and so I basically like just like took all the results that I had from like endoscopies that I'd done like here in Mexico, and like everything that I'd done like regarding mouths and the vascular surgeon last year, and just all this stuff that I had, because like I don't know if you guys know, but like getting records from your hospital like over in the US is like really hard. Over here they'll give you copies of like everything. Like I have a copy of my EKG, but over there, you know, I think you have to pay to get them. So yeah, she prescribed me like the medication for the gastroparesis and something to help with like the bile, because like I told her I've been having issues with like bile recently. She basically just told me, after I told her like my whole history and stuff, like I told her that I was struggling to increase the rate on my feeds, and I was also struggling to like eat orally. And so I showed her stuff from the cardiologist, like because he had ordered the tests and stuff, the EKG and whatever. And so she told me that she thinks like, cause she's like dysautonomia can cause gastroparesis, I think is what she said. So she thinks that maybe once I get treatment for that, for the dysautonomia, that might help with my like GI issues. I'm not really sure because I think like for me the dysautonomia stuff didn't come until like afterwards. Like first for me it was like the GI issues, and then like later the dysautonomia thing. So it was kind of, it's more like recent, like I don't know, like 2 or 3 years or something like that. I don't know, I think it happened after like the whole, like after I started having like getting like the chronic joint pain and stuff. And I remember there was a summer where I started feeling like really, like I just could not tolerate heat. Like I would just get really overheated like the whole summer. I just constantly felt super hot. And then after that, like a little while after that, I started having the whole like feeling like I'm gonna pass out all the time and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, but she basically told me to like to take the medication that she prescribed for a month, and then to go back and see her and see how it works. But we don't really know if we'll be able to stay that long because first off, I don't have like formula for that long. Like my dad had to send some of like the formula that we had at our house over here, like with someone that delivers things over here to Mexico, like from Dallas to Mexico, because, you know, like I said, the airline lost my luggage that had half of my formula supply. So thankfully, you know, he was able to do that. But, you know, like screw American Airlines for being assholes and not giving a shit that they lost like my medically necessary, you know, formula. Such BS. But I mean, I don't know. We probably won't be able to stay that long a month. I don't know. Maybe we'll try and see if we can see the GI before we go. But I don't know. Who knows? And I'm actually having some issues right now. So I'm probably going to call her and see what she says. Because, yeah, I'm actually struggling a little. But we'll see. Hey guys, so I'm back at the hospital where I had my mouth surgery last year, and I'm gonna see the vascular surgeon about a surgery he told me that I could do for the gastroparesis, and also just to follow up and ask him some questions that I had. So let's see how that goes. Hey guys, so it's been a couple of days since I've updated you guys on what's been going on here. Today is today would have been the start of our 4th week here, but we're leaving tomorrow, and yeah, like a lot has been going on with like the doctors and my health and stuff. So like, first off, 2 Saturdays ago I ended up having to go to the ER here in Mexico at the hospital where I've been seeing most of my doctors, because I was throwing up and also like TMI, but I was having to go to the bathroom a lot. So I ended up having to go to the hospital to get some meds for that. I also had to get some fluids, and yeah, that was rough because it was like a Saturday and it was at night, and like my mom and my brother who came with me were kind of like freaking out, and I was freaking out because I felt like really horribly. Like I was like getting chills and like shaking, and also feeling really lightheaded and like throwing up. And I really hate throwing up, which I get is, it's ironic because, you know, gastroparesis, it's like one of the things that happens often. It actually doesn't happen all that often to me, but it does happen on occasion, and I really hate it, like a lot. But yeah, so I went to the ER, and like the doctor, you know, I had to tell him all my history, and he like checked me over like my abdomen, and like he was pressing on it and listening to it, and he was saying that he couldn't hear like any movement in my intestines. So he did a CT scan, and like they also gave me some meds via IV, because like, you know, because of the throwing up stuff, which I appreciate, because it's back home at the hospital that I usually unfortunately have to go to. I had to go there once also because I was throwing up, and like they had me take the medications like by mouth. I was like what the freak? Like, I'm telling you guys, I'm having trouble like taking anything in. You guys are making me like take these giant ass pills, because I also have trouble swallowing pills, and it was just like, oh, it's just so stupid. But like, yeah, the doctor he was really nice, and like he seemed to really, like, you know, like he was saying, like, I'm not an expert on these conditions, but honestly he seemed to know like way more about gastroparesis than any of the doctors I've seen back home. So, you know, that's really saying something. Yeah, so he did the CT scan, and he said that the CT scan, apparently like everything showed up normal, because he was trying to see if I had like an obstruction in my intestines or something. But he was like, no, that's all normal. The only thing we found was like that you had a whole bunch of food in your stomach, which was, you know, like surprising to them considering I'd already thrown up. But, you know, and I was also like, during that time I was on my period, which again, TMI, but basically when I'm on my period, like everything, all my health conditions get like worse, like the whole lightheadedness thing, and the like my GI stuff, like my stomach, like I just don't tolerate food very well. I get acid reflux too, nausea, and then like struggling with like, you know, bathroom stuff, like all that stuff. Like it just gets way worse when I'm on my period. So yeah, I guess the good thing is it wasn't anything like super serious, just, you know, like regular, you know, gastroparesis, being a little And then a couple of days after that, I went to go see my vascular surgeon, the one that placed the stent in last November. And because he had told me, like, you know, the surgery might help you or it might not, like, because we didn't know if like the gastroparesis was being caused by the mouths, like the artery being compressed, or if it's like its own separate thing. So So if the stent placement didn't work, then there's another surgery that they could do. So we went to go like see him about that, and you know, kind of just update him on what's been going on. So like, yeah, like I went to go see him. I explained to him that I had come back to Mexico because I was having issues with the heart stuff, and also just like GI issues, like the whole me losing a lot of weight over the past couple of months because of not tolerating my formula. Yeah, so he told me about the surgery. He said he had consulted with like other doctors about it, and he told me that there's a surgery he could do. Like he would do it as well as like with another surgeon, probably like someone that does like, you know, like gastro, I don't even know what it's called, like abdominal surgeries or whatever, where they connect your well, he drew me a picture, so I might as well show you. Let me see you guys. So yeah, he was like showing me like the stomach, and he was basically saying that they, I don't know, I guess they like make a hole or something because they connect your stomach to your like intestine, so that way I guess when you eat the food, like instead of having to struggle like going through your duodenum and making this whole like passage, because you know, like when you have gastroparesis, your stomach doesn't really like move the way it's supposed to. It doesn't move like the food the way that it's supposed to. So they would just connect like your stomach and your intestine, and that's supposedly supposed to help you. But anyways, like the point is, he was saying, like telling me about the surgery and how that's an option, since, you know, it's been, I think I've been struggling a lot with this, like with gastroparesis for so many years, and it'd be nice to not have like the feeding tube. And like the medications help a little bit, because there's like medications here that you can get for like to speed up your motility that aren't available over there, but I feel like they only help so much, so the surgery would be better and hopefully like a more permanent option. But yeah, I mean, it would be expensive, and it would be like a greater recovery time, because obviously it would be like they would actually have to cut me open, like cut my abdomen open, do the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, that's like an option. And again, there's like the whole money thing, so it would also be expensive, because like I would have to stay in the hospital for a few days and then stay here. He told me I would have to stay like 3 weeks after, so that he could be like checking on me and stuff after the surgery. But yeah, it was nice seeing him. I don't know, I really trust that doctor, because I feel like he tells me things like straight up. Like he's like, it's not a guarantee, you know, like these are just like options that you have and stuff. And I don't know, like I feel like I trust him, and like I feel like he actually cares and stuff, because he was asking me like how I'd been doing and how like my quality of life had changed with the mouth surgery. And I told him, you know, that it had helped me a lot, like with being able to increase my oral intake to where I was before the surgery, where I could barely like even drink clear liquids. So, and the last thing that I wanted to update you guys on, well, not really the last thing, but mostly the last thing. This other thing is just kind of like minor, I guess. The major thing is that I got my results from the tests, you know, that I showed you guys before, that I had done the cardio test. And basically the doctor said that the test showed, he was like, yeah, this is a definite case of dysautonomia, because he was showing me like the reports and stuff that like with very little activity, you know, my heart rate jumps up like really high. He said the highest that it got to was like, I think 160 something, which is like really high. And yeah, he said even like when I'm sleeping at night, it also tends to fluctuate a lot and be higher than normal. And then with the other test, the blood pressure, he also said that I tend to get really like low blood pressure. Sometimes it's normal, sometimes it gets normal, but it also fluctuates a lot, and it tends to get really low. So he prescribed 2 medications for me. He prescribed one for the low blood pressure, so to raise my blood pressure, and the other one is for my heart rate, to lower my heart rate. And I've been taking them for like a couple of days now, and I feel like they have been making a difference. Like I've been able to go out and walk a bit, because I'd been trying to rest for a while, because like I said, I'd just been feeling like really bad. And I feel like they have helped me some. Hopefully they continue to help me out so that I can, you know, improve my quality of life, because it really sucks having to stay inside all day during the summer because it's so hot, and I get like really symptomatic because of it. But yeah, he was explaining to me how like dysautonomia like really like fucks up with like your whole body's like autonomic nervous system, because that like regulates a whole bunch of things. So yeah, he was saying like really the only thing you can do for dysautonomia is try to find ways to manage each, like treat the different symptoms that you have, because there's not really like a cure. You can't really treat like the overall thing. So like obviously for me it's like the main things were like, you know, my blood pressure and my heart rate. And he was also like mentioning that because of like all the issues that I have, like with the gastroparesis and like the dysautonomia, and also because my echo showed that I had I think it's called a mitral valve prolapse, which he said was like, it's not like a super serious thing, so it's just something to like monitor every year. Like I have to get an echo to monitor that. But he's saying like with all of that, and also because like the first time I saw him, he had done like, he took a measurement of my arms like spread out like from like that, like from one side to the other, like I think it's called your arm span. And he was also like stretching my skin and like trying to see if I was like, I think like hypermobile or something. He did like wait, what was it? Oh, like this. He was moving my hands like to see if I could do the thumb thing or whatever. He basically recommended that I see a geneticist, because he thinks like then I could find the root cause of, because I told him about the autoimmune thing, but he thinks it would be a good idea to see a geneticist to kind of I guess rule things out and see if that's like a possible avenue. And like he recommended a geneticist for me to see here, but because I had my appointment with him on last Thursday, and today is Monday. We're actually leaving tomorrow on Tuesday, so we were like, we're probably not going to be able to have enough time to see the geneticist. So I guess I'm gonna see if I can see one. I don't know, I mean, because like I said, we might come back here if I do decide to do the surgery, or I don't know, we'll probably end up coming back to Mexico anyways, because you know, healthcare over there is like really hard. And also I found out that I got denied for SSI, so obviously it's gonna be really hard for me to see any doctors or specialists over there. I guess the most important thing is that I got the diagnosis, because I really just wanted to, you know, rule that out, see like once and for all, do I have like dysautonomia or not? Because you know, if I don't, then I need to look into something else, because there's obviously something causing these problems, and it's just, you know, something to rule out. I'm relieved that I have the diagnosis and I have an answer, because I feel like it's easier for me to, you know, go to doctors and be like, when they try to brush it off and be like, oh, you're probably just, you know, dehydrated or whatever, or you know, they always try to brush it off. And I was like, I've had these symptoms for years now, they've really been affecting me. I don't think it's just dehydration. So yeah, it's nice to have a definitive answer and to know what's going on, and now I know like what I can do to manage it. So like obviously the doctor recommended, you know, a lot of salt, like, and electrolytes, and hopefully the medications will also help. But I'll keep you guys updated on how everything goes with the treatment. And then like lastly, I also saw a gynecologist, because like I mentioned, like I really struggle with like when I'm on my period, like it just makes everything worse. And I've also really struggled with like really awful painful cramps when I'm on my period, like cramps so bad that I can't get out of bed the first 2 days because it hurts, like just moving hurts. So I saw a gynecologist and she recommended I get like a hormonal implant in my arm, so it's kind of why I'm laying in bed, because yesterday I got the implant and there's like my bandaged arm, so I can't really move it for like, you know, like 2 days or whatever. I think she said 2 days would be like when it would hurt and stuff, and then after that it would be fine. Hopefully it helps out with like the cramps and also like not having so much issues with my period, because like I said, it's to really mess out like my whole system up with like everything. I feel like overall like we struggled a lot this time, like here in Mexico, with like, you know, our luggage and, you know, just like trying to find doctors, because it was really hard for us to find like appointments at first, but I feel like it was all worth it in the end, because you know, I finally have answers. I've addressed some issues that I'm having, and hopefully they'll help me out so that I'm, you know, doing a bit better. So yeah, and also, you know, I do like coming here. It's nice. It feels like second home almost. Although I do miss home, and I'm really excited to get back. So this is my last evening in Querétaro, and we're taking a walk to one of los jardines that are in el centro. I hope that you guys enjoyed getting to experience Mexico alongside me, and that this video helped kind of open people's eyes to the problem with the inaccessibility of healthcare to a lot of people in the US, and the drastic measures that those of us have to take just to get the care that we need. I hope that this will make people think and maybe reconsider their stance on universal healthcare, because it's something that would really help those of us with chronic illness and really everyone. Well, that's the end of my trip to Mexico. I hope that you guys found this video interesting, and that you maybe learned something new about a different country, or maybe you just enjoy seeing the different sights and sounds of different places around the world, which I totally get. So if you did enjoy this video, then I would appreciate it if you could please give it a like and leave a comment down below. That would really help support me and my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!